Hello, everybody. Welcome to Running Code, Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. As always, with me is my partner, J-Man. J-Man, what's up?
What's up, everybody? I'm J-Man.
Today, we're not going to talk about any one specific topic. Today, we just felt like freestyling it. J-Man, give me something funny and start us off.
Well, I'm going to start it off like this. I'm going to laugh at myself. Everybody knows police have gaffes. It is what it is.
Absolutely. You learn from your mistakes.
Oh,
so does everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
And they laugh.
Yeah. And I laughed at myself when this happened. I tripped chasing somebody. And, yeah.
Yeah, nothing makes you feel 10 foot tall like landing on your face when you're chasing a suspect.
Oh, yeah. You try not to get the tunnel vision. You want to combat breathe. But, I mean, hey, nature happens. And, I tripped on... I want to say it was a tree. It had to have been. I really couldn't see what I tripped on. I thought I was, I had fleet footing. Thought I was Ali in the prom. But no, I tripped, and I'm pretty sure there was people who had the camera phones out. I'm on the internet somewhere, but I laughed at myself. I wasn't angry.
Did you slide into home safely?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure I went ass overhead. I had to. I felt like I tumbled, but I don't know if I did or not. That's the worst part. I don't know if I tumbled or not. But I got back up, dusted myself off, and I made someone laugh that day.
Did you catch the suspect, J-Man? Did we at least get him in custody?
Yeah, but it wasn't me. It was help. You always gotta have help. Yes.
Okay.
The suspect got caught.
Happy ending.
You gotta have help.
Okay. Happy ending.
That's another little trade-off. It's never too. You're never too above help.
No.
Get your help out there.
No, absolutely. I'd rather have the help and catch the guy at the end of the day. I get him in custody, and he goes down, and everyone else laughs at you the next day in roll call. That's how you know they'll never forget you.
It was actually funny. Me and the dude laughed about it.
Oh, I bet he thought it was hilarious. He's probably down at the jail right now bragging about it over in exchange for a Johnny from the trustee. I had something real similar. Big Mexican restaurant here. I was chasing these two juveniles. Didn't know they were juveniles at the time. It turned out they both had felony warrants. But we go through. Someone had called and said they were inside this Mexican restaurant. So I get it. I walk in the door, and they saw me immediately, and they both took off running. I'm going after the older one, who turned out to be the older brother. And we went for the back, and there's an outdoor patio. And he went through it, and I tackled him, and it was like straight out of the movies. We went over the table full of food. Like everybody's eating. There's like 8 people at this table, and we land in the middle of their dinner. Table crashes to the ground. People are bouncing out of the way, and I'm down on the ground. We're covered in guacamole sauce and salsa and enchiladas. I get this kid in custody and throw him off. And someone said that the brother ran across the street to the Wendy's. Now I'm pissed. I want them both. Like, I'm covered in salsa and guacamole, so I'm pissed. So I go across the street to the Wendy's. I'm so amped up, I didn't bother telling anybody I was going across the street to the Wendy's. I'm just going to find this kid. I'm pissed. And I've got like 6-7 units there by this time, but I'm still pissed. No, I'm going to find this kid. I get to the Wendy's. I go inside, I look, I don't see anything. I go for the restroom, and the door's locked. Bingo. I told the manager, come here and bring me the key right now. Bring me the key. So he brought me the key. I crank it open, and the kid's standing there trying to push the door shut. So I stepped back, and I kicked the door. Well, I hit him in the face. He fell back in the bathroom. I stepped in the bathroom, closed the door, and we had a private conversation in the latrine about his conduct and behavior, which ended with him looking like he got a swirly. I'm not saying he got a swirly. I'm just saying it looked like he had a swirly when he came out of the bathroom. Had him in cuffs, walked him all the way back across a 4-lane street, right to the tower, threw him in next to his brother. You're both going to jail. So it happens. I remember chasing the guy over a fence, and I fell over the fence, landed straight on my ass, and I landed hard, and I just boom, and I was pretty much out. I was done. He made it over the fences, kept going, and I landed on my ass. You ever been chased by a dog in the backyard chasing somebody?
Never been chased by a dog because I had I've heard some wise words by other older officers that say to. Here, boy.
Before you go over the fence?
Oh, yeah. So, no.
Don't be me as a rookie and just fly over the fence, because I came flying right back over it. I don't think I ever jumped a fence that fast in my life. I do remember the one time we were chasing a subject in a really not so good part of town where everybody's got pit bulls and Rottweilers and everything in the backyard, and he went over the fence, and within about 5 seconds I heard the snarling and the screaming. He came right back over the fence with a dog attached to his ass as he came over the fence, and I grabbed a hold of him while he's coming over the fence. I'm trying to shove the dog back off so he could stay on his side of the fence and get him down. Needless to say, we had to go to the hospital and get him a tetanus shot and all that crap, because the dog took a chunk out of his butt.
Oh yeah, I'm not jumping. No, well, I'll jump a fence in pursuit of a subject, but I'm definitely at first before I jump the fence, I'm going to stop and listen, and look.
Always good advice, officers. Listen and look. Don't go headlong at anything. Learn my lesson. You know what? Honestly, you learn more from your screw-ups than you do your successes. So I don't mind sharing my failures or my bad tactical decisions because somebody will learn from it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they laugh. Humor will help you remember it. Like, that was funny, but it could be bad, so remember that. So I don't mind. Hey, I've screwed up. I have absolutely screwed up. I have stood tall before the man having my butt chewed into small pieces because I screwed up. But you know what? I remembered it.
Yeah, very true.
Pursuits are kind of the same way. You're in a car, but you're still chasing somebody, and you make a bad decision because you blow an intersection you shouldn't have. Like, oh, that could have been bad. You know, you laugh about it later. At the time, your butthole gets so tight you could turn coal into a diamond. Like, you just shove a briquette up there, and I'll give you a diamond. Because tunnel vision. I learned later in my career, you can always tell the officers that jabber on the radio, they're screaming, can't understand a word they're saying. They're in tunnel vision.
Oh, yeah.
Me, I think I set the record in my agency with pursuits between being highway narcotics, traffic. I've had a million pursuits. And I do my best to sound as bored as possible. Like, so bored, like I'm almost not even chasing somebody. And I've never had one terminated because I don't sound like I'm losing control.
Oh, like an astronomy lecture.
Yes. I try to make it sound absolutely as boring as it gets.
Those are particularly boring for me.
I'll give you an example. Okay, we just turned left. Okay, we're now northbound. No, I mean, you can't even tell I'm chasing somebody. We have an officer in my agency that is so calm. He got shot at once, and on the radio, he was so calm, he just got on the radio and said, "Shots fired." Everybody was, did he just say shots fired? I was like, well, put a little urgency in your voice. Let us know this is actually real. So it's stuff like that. You can't do this job, as we've said before, without finding funny somewhere, whether that's your screw-ups, which are not funny at the time, and the next day in roll call, you're going to get ribbed a little bit. You're going to catch some shit for it in roll call. All you can do is laugh, because everybody there has done it too, and it's going to be your turn to laugh at somebody else tonight or tomorrow or the next day. It just, cops are more ruthless with each other. Believe it or not, folks, we actually hold each other to a higher standard than the public does. Believe it or not, we do.
For sure.
So we are not above making you pay for that mistake you made very publicly. Sometimes to the point of inappropriateness in roll call, but hey, everybody heard it. Kind of like when I was a drill sergeant. I may be ripping this one trainee's ass, but the whole group can hear it. So they heard what he did, and they heard the corrective measure. Now I've just solved 59 other problems by doing that. So you do that in roll call, especially senior officers. Like, you think they're just ragging on you, but in reality what they're doing is they're making the correction for everyone to hear. And they're just trying to keep it funny, but everyone's going to hear that and go, okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't mind airing out my mistakes. And any officer, honestly, any good officer should have no problem telling people, hey, I screwed up.
Yeah.
I did something dumb. And you're not going to say it at the time because you're pride.
Yeah.
But you know you screwed up. So you can either pretend you didn't, and everybody's like, dude, really? We all saw it. Or just eat it and own it and laugh about it. Call it a day.
So there's and this is kind of more of a minor thing. Not as exciting as a foot chase, but in my agency, we're transitioning from making our traffic stops with the press of a button to we still call them out physically, and that still probably is the majority of a lot of departments.
Not a bad idea. Lets everyone know what you got going on and where you're at.
When you're calling out that plate and you brain fart. Mm-hmm. Your phonetics may not be as on par as they should be.
Frog, Michelin, Kevin.
I personally said xylophone.
Is that with a Z or an X?
And there's always that pause on the radio because the
dispatcher doesn't even know it starts with a Z or an X.
Yeah, I've had plenty of brain farts. Reading out plates.
Yeah, it's like stopping someone at Eucalyptus Street. Spell it. I'll meet you down at John Street.
And
sir, pull down to the next corner.
And this is something that our dispatchers that maybe listen to this show can appreciate. Officers that for some reason choose to say traditional spelling for names that no one knows how to traditionally spell. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. I've seen it happen personally, not by me, because I don't want to do that to dispatcher. I like getting dispatched to decent calls.
Yeah. Listeners, do not take off your dispatchers. It's a bad day if you do.
Yeah, don't make the dispatcher mad when you want to take a break at the PD, but all of a sudden you're getting every single call.
Yep. And no one's going to blame them, and no one's going to say anything to them because they're the dispatchers at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But those can be some funny times too. Just a name. It's going to be John. Spelled Juliet, Ocean, Henry, Nora, then Vlad.
Last name, Vladimirovich. Common spelling. You're going to get a very pregnant pause from that dispatcher, and you might get a private message from her going, "What is wrong with you?" The one thing I do is I just put it on the key card and go, "Refer to the key card."
Refer to key card.
That way, I'm not sounding like an idiot trying to phonetically spell some long Russian name, or like Victor Lima Alpha Delta crap, and there's that you can pause and everyone's listening, laughing.
Oh yeah.
Plus, you're also taking up a lot of radio time too,
which is bad and funny and never good. So.
Not when 10 officers are trying to key up with their traffic because you're putting your whole report over the damn radio.
Yeah, that's never cool.
I cut in one time. I cut in and said, "Why don't you just write the report up?" He took a break and took his finger off he unkeyed for a second. I jumped in real fast, and then everybody else jumped in. I'll never forget the first time I toned out. And for listeners, if you don't know what that means, when you either do a traffic stop or you get to a call, the dispatcher is going to give you a couple minutes, and they're going to check on you and make sure you're okay. If you don't answer, they're going to do what's called a tone out. So every agency is a little different, but usually it's a high-pitched, dual wailing tone that gets everyone's attention immediately. And they're going to tone you out. And this officer's in trouble at this location, possible officer in trouble, not answering the radio, whatever. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't real, you're going to get hate. Oh, yeah. Because everyone starts coming your way at 100 miles an hour. And I'll never forget it. I was day 2 into field training. It's a family violence. It was a dispute. It wasn't actual physical. It was just yelling. But I'm standing between a husband and wife who are both north of 300 pounds, and they had the lung capacity to match it, and they're screaming at each other at the top of their lungs. I can't hear my radio. I'm also a rookie, not realizing that they're going to check on me in 2 minutes. It's not programmed into me yet. Now after 10 years, I already know they're going to. I secure myself as soon as I know I'm okay. I secure myself, but apparently my FTO heard the dispatcher call me. I didn't answer, of course, and he's going to let me fall on my face. This is how you learn. So he just sat there behind me, and I'm trying to get them to calm down, and one at a time tell me what's going on. I'm thinking I'm solving the problem. I'm the man. I'm a new cop. I got a badge and a gun, and you're going to listen to me. And for those of us that have been a cop longer than 5 minutes, know that's bullshit. You're hopped up on ego when you're new, and all of a sudden I hear the toner, and I'm like, shut up. And they actually shut up, weirdly. I should have said that from the start, I guess. And then I hear my call sign, not answering status checks, officer in trouble. I'm like, and I turn around and looked at my field training officer. He's just staring at me. Like, I heard it. Why didn't you? Keyed up. I'm fine. Thank you. Cancel everybody. I'm fine. Well, it turned out to be nothing. No crime. Got him calm. Figured out the issue. Helped him solve it. We're out of here. Well, I get in the Tahoe, and in our CAD system, you can message officers directly and individually. I had a lot of hate mail from pretty much that whole sector. Way to go. Good job listening to your radio, rookie. Nice one. It was a little tense the next day in roll call because I wanted to fire back, but what was I going to say? They were dead right, and I was dead wrong. So I remember, fast forward years later, I'm a field training officer myself, and I have a rookie with me who after 4 months still can't answer the radio and still doesn't listen to the radio and still doesn't pay attention to the radio. And I let her tone out, and I let her do it. And I'm sitting there staring at the radio and the call sign, and she's staring at the radio, so I know she can hear it. She's looking right down at the radio, and I'm like, you going to answer that? And she just keeps staring at it, and they call the call sign again. Generally in our agency, it's 3 times. Mm-hmm. You don't answer the third one, they tone you out.
Yeah.
They give you a benefit of the doubt the first one, maybe the second one, not the third one.
Yeah.
And Oreo supervisor will key up and go, tone them out. Yeah, you better have been in trouble. You better be fighting somebody. And she just kept staring at the radio. About the 4th time, they tone us out, officer in trouble, and she still is not reaching for the radio. We're not anywhere remotely in danger. We're just sitting there at a flea market where we received a civil call, no big deal call. And I finally had to scream at her, are you going to answer that radio or is it going to answer itself? she reached down real mechanically, picked it up, looked at it like she'd never seen a radio before. This is after 16 weeks of field training. She's in her evaluation week, and I failed her, by the way. She no longer is a patrol officer. She finally keys it up. We're secure. I'm like, are you asking her or telling her? So the Sarge called me direct because he knows I'm the training officer, and he goes, what's going on? I said, she's not paying attention to the radio. And I told him what happened. He goes, have her write a report. Oh, no, I'm already documented. I mean, I'm her training officer, so it's already being documented. This is the kind of person, the first night, and I have her for, so every other agency does their field training different.
Yeah.
Our field training is 4 months long. You have a 0 week where you do nothing. You just ride along. You start soaking it in, learning. If you have a good training officer, they're going to let you start getting involved, but they're primary. You're just there to kind of learn. Then you have 6 weeks of actual, this is you now, and then your first evaluation week, and then another 6 weeks, and then your final evaluation week. Mm-hmm. Every FTO prior to her, or to me, had told him, fail her. Do not let her pass. She is dangerous. She does not pay attention. She has bad tactics. She doesn't separate subjects. She doesn't look for weapons. I mean, a plethora of issues. But I was like, I'm going to give her a fair shot. I don't want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to be biased.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just ignore that. I'm going to take her for the week and see what happens. Yeah, day 2, I realized real quickly they were not full of crap. They were all absolutely accurate. And I was like, okay, so, but I'm going to let her finish the week. And I'll tell you, by the end of that week, and I told her that very last night when we were done, I said, you're no way in hell I'm ever going to let you ride in a patrol car. And I told her all the reasons. You're dangerous. You do this, 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 you do this. And I felt bad because in our agency, you have to work the jail before you go to patrol. Mm-hmm. And it crushed her dreams. I'm sorry, but I'm not doing you any favors if I let you out there and you're not ready. Yeah. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt somebody else. You're going to get a citizen hurt. I will give her this. She could talk to people. She did have the gift of gab. She could calm them down. She could talk to them. She was trilingual. So she had 3 languages she could talk to people in. So that was nice. I mean, I tell you right now, if we could go straight to mental health, she'd have been perfect there because she could talk to people and she could get them to calm down. That's an absolute people. That's the most valuable resource an officer has is the gift of gab. Get people to talk and get people to calm down. But tactics, I mean, we're not solely in patrol mental health. Yeah. So if she can't do anything else, it really doesn't matter. So I had to fail her. But it broke my heart to crush someone's dream like that. But what if I pass her now? I have to deal with her now one day. And she's putting me in danger. Yeah. So every officer listening to this knows that one guy that they do not want backing them up.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Absolutely.
Like either they wind the situation up when you finally got it calm and they're going to show up and wind the guy back up after you spent 10 minutes calming him down. Mm-hmm. Or they're going to show up and use excessive force and you've already got the guy, contained. Here comes the guy with the football kick, kicks him in the mouth, and you're looking at him like, I just got the handcuffs on. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Now I got to sit at the hospital with him for 8 hours. What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah.
So this person's so dangerous to me that they come, it's just going to make it worse. Yeah. So unfortunately, she was that person, but in good conscience, I would be doing her no favors in the long run. She could end up getting hurt. Yeah, and her husband was a patrol officer, and I felt bad. Yeah, but I told him, hey man, she's your wife. I'd like her to live a long life, so I'm sorry. So yeah, they were a little frosty for a while, but I mean, she stayed with our agency. She just had to go seek a job elsewhere. Mm-hmm. That didn't put her in patrol. So I have nothing against her. I wish her the best, but I'm not letting that out there where it gets me or her hurt or a citizen hurt. So you've seen it. I'll tell you that, Toner, my last night on patrol before I transferred to traffic, my very last shift, because the way it works our agency is you always get your new assignment Saturday morning, you start your new assignment Saturday. Mm-hmm. So the week runs that way, Saturday to Friday. Yeah. So it's about 7 o'clock at night. Call comes out. Sister calls, says her brother is beating her truck to death with a baseball bat, like every window, every fender, every panel. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll take this one by myself. I've been to a million of these. It's no big deal. I get over there. And again, ego people. Don't let it write checks you can't cash. So I get over there. Sister's outside, and I can see the broken glass. I mean, the whole truck has just looked like it went through a masher. Like the Hulk got a hold of it and just beat it. I don't know if you thought it was low-key and just beat it on the asphalt for 10 minutes. I mean, every panel on this, it was a nice F-150. Every panel was dented. Every window was shattered. Every mirror was knocked off. Every light was broken out. I'm like, well, we're in felony range, criminal mischief at this point, because that's well over $2,500 in damage. Truck's probably totaled at this point, and it was only a 2-year-old truck. I mean, it's a fairly new truck. It wasn't an old like 1990 F-150 where okay, whatever. So when I asked her what happened, she told me, and I said, all right, where's he at? Oh, he's in the kitchen. All right, let's go inside. And I told the dispatcher, I'm fine, I'm secure, that was a mistake. I get inside, I haven't even made contact with the volatile subject with the bat, and I'm already telling dispatch that I'm fine. So obviously, I'm not above making a mistake even as a senior officer by this point. She's ahead of me. We come in, she looks in the kitchen, and for simplicity, let's call this gentleman Mike. We'll say he's Mike. She goes, Mike, the cops are here. I peek my head around the corner because I'm not going to expose my whole body. I'm not a complete idiot tonight. I peek my head around the corner. He's in the corner of the kitchen, faced away from me with his hands in front of him. Won't show me his hands. And I identified myself. Hey, Mike, I'm Officer so-and-so. Show me your hands, man. Just let me see your hands. Let me make sure you're okay. He didn't move. I'm like, okay, I don't have time for this crap. I said, hey, man, just show me your hands. Show me you don't have a weapon. He wouldn't. I said, screw this. I went up. I tried to reach around him, grab his wrist, pull him back, and the fight was on. He slipped his hand and put me in a headlock. I was able to at least get him in a headlock, so we had each other in a headlock. So he can't choke me and I can't choke him, but I can't let him go. And then we proceed to bounce around the kitchen, breaking the microwave, the kitchen table, the door off the fridge.
The door off the fridge?
He broke the door off the fridge. Oh. He slammed into it and it actually broke the door off the fridge. I'd never seen that before. I've seen it in the movies, never saw it in person. I guess they got it from somewhere.
Yeah.
And so we end up on the ground finally. And I'm just trying to hang on to him, and he's trying to hang on to me, and I'm trying to hit him, and he's trying to hit me, and we can't really get a leverage on each other because we got each other in headlock, so we have a hard time actually getting leverage on each other to hit. I'm more mad than anything else. I'm thinking my last night. This had to happen to me my last night on patrol. I'm pretty pissed off by this point. I managed to get to my toner, hit my toner. They can hear the fight. I tell them one fighting. They tone me out. It felt like 10 minutes. It probably wasn't 3 minutes before that door came crashing open and 8 officers came piling through that door. And they gently removed me from the subject and then gently put him in custody. I'll put it that way. You can read between the lines. He put his hands on a fellow officer. They were very gentle, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. He didn't go to the hospital. That was about as gentle as they were. So the toner has a purpose, and I used it correctly that night. But the mistake I made was telling them I was secure before he made contact with the subject. I should have asked for another unit or two, seeing all the damage to the truck. But no, I'm Superman. I can handle this. So, folks, if you're listening to this and you're an officer, don't let your ego write a check you can't cash.
Uh-huh.
So, and I'm sure, give me an example. I'm sure you've been out there and you made it through by the grace of God, and you later look back and go, that was stupid. I'm sure you got something. You were officer perfect? All right.
No, definitely not officer perfect. It's, you know what? Yeah, actually, there's a traffic stop. After some point, you make so many, you kind of do get a little lazy.
Yeah, you get complacent. Not lazy, but just complacent.
And I remember I was walking back to my patrol unit. Now, this is when I used to work dog watch. They were always told to just be mindful of where you stop people. There's a pretty decent highway that runs through the area that I work. And we were up in that section of the highway where there's not so many lights. Then it's kind of narrow. I almost got hit by like a camper van. I just wasn't paying attention. Mm-hmm. And oh boy.
That get your attention?
It got my attention real quick.
Yeah, the pucker factor go up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we call that in the service a lemur, a cold shot of urine to the heart.
I was almost fucked on that one.
Yeah, you'd have been a hood ornament. And I'd have been out there cleaning that up.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't need the work.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, definitely. It's it's not as crazy as being unequally yoked and removing a refrigerator door, but it's the same thing. I try to keep my tactics when dealing with volatile subjects at the top of my head, and then for some reason I just.
But we get complacent when you walk up and they're not being combative with you. You forget that there's other dangers besides the person you're talking to in the car.
Yeah.
As a traffic officer, I stop a lot of cars on the highway. Mm-hmm. Very used to it, and we get very complacent walking around traffic. We don't think any of the cars whizzing by us 75 miles an hour. No, whatever. I'm used to it. And you forget that that's really not a good way to go. Officers die from 3 things primarily: gunfire, car crashes, and health.
Yeah.
Like cardiac-related issues. So there's been a few times where I got a reminder, where I've had cars brush me, or damn near hit my Tahoe. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So, folks, if we tell you on the PA to get off the highway, we don't mean you any harm. We want to go home that night, so we want you to get off the highway and find a parking lot to where we're not going to be hit by a car. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's unavoidable. They stop where they stop. It is what it is. Make a passenger side approach, guys. At least get away from the highway. Turn the wheels of your Tahoe facing away, so if it gets hit, at least it goes in any direction other than you.
Yeah.
Keep that space. I like to tilt my Tahoe with the engine block towards the car, and I turn the wheel all the way. So if it gets hit, it's going well away from me. Mm-hmm. And it gives me maybe time to get away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, we do that. We get complacent. It's funny later. At the time, you're going, oh, okay, that was stupid. And if you're a smart officer and you care about your fellow officers, you'll tell them good feedback, like, hey, I screwed up. Just do it like a funny story in roll call, but they listen to it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, got it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And for the citizens out there, if we pull you over and we tell you on the PA, get off the highway, we're not being rude. We just don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
And people do it. They're texting, they slam, or drunks. Especially you officers working second shift and dog watch.
Yeah.
The drunks are attracted to bright lights. Mm-hmm. Bright, shiny lights get their attention. I know a lot of officers who don't turn the rear ones on. They will, after the stop, they will shut it back down so that they're not attracted to those lights. I don't do that. I want to be visible, but there are some officers that will because they have been hit.
Yeah.
So drunks are attracted to those lights at night, guys. Remember that. And don't ever let them pull to the left. Folks, don't pull to the left when you're being pulled over. God, I see that all day long.
Or they stop in the center lane.
Oh, I've had them stop in the middle of the highway, too, yeah. And I'm looking in the mirror waiting for that 18-wheeler to come up and crush me. I'm just like, I'm on the radio, on the PA screaming, get off the highway. And it's either been a really, really elderly person or it's been a young driver, 16, 17, 18, that just panic and hit the brakes. Mm-hmm. The ones that moved left, I don't know what their issue is, and that's been every age I've seen where they go to the left. I'm like, why are we on the left side of the highway? Are we in Britain, New Zealand, Japan? Why are we on the left side? Oh, what am I supposed to do? Go to the right. I'm like, let me ask you something. If an ambulance behind you turns on its lights, what direction do you move? To the right. Why am I special? Yield to the right, and so, yeah, and I don't give them a ticket for that, but they do get a verbal reminder about what direction to safely move. I didn't know what you wanted me to do, sir. Move off the highway so we can have a safe, productive conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I love the ones that stop on the side of the highway and you have to raise your voice to be heard about traffic. Why are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling at you. I'm just trying to be heard. Like, I'm not yelling. Oh, you're yelling. That's rude. Oh, my God. Here we go.
And there you go.
And then they believe it. They really believe I'm just yelling at them. I'm like, do you not hear the traffic going by? So I'm sure you dealt with that, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Passenger side approach. I make them roll that driver's window up. Okay, now you can hear me.
Yeah.
And so...
And even sometimes, I've seen that on the passenger side approach, you still got to yell sometimes because it is just too much traffic noise.
Yeah.
Too much traffic noise.
I work interstate highways, and during rush hour, it's going to be nonstop traffic. It's not like one car an hour. It's nonstop traffic. And 18-wheelers going by. And then you get the guys that purposely go by and pull their air horns or rev their engines.
Yeah.
And you're trying to talk to this person. They're getting frustrated. You're getting frustrated. And at the end, it's like, give me your license. And they, thank you. And I just go back. Here's your citation for whatever it was. Speeding, failed to signal, drive safe, be careful, back on the highway. And did I do the enforcement? Yes. Did I have the conversation I wanted to have? No, because officers, listen to this. Traffic stops not just about writing tickets. Yes. Cars are used for criminality. Mm-hmm. Going to commit a crime, coming from committing a crime, or they're using the car itself. Look around the car, ask questions, be nosy. That's your job. Do it in Rodriguez versus the Rodriguez rule. If you don't know what that is, you better look that up. Don't see what your limits are. But nothing says you can't be nosy. Talk to him. So it really sucks when you can't. You just can't talk to him. And if you don't see anything, just give him a ticket. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
But our job, guys, is to be nosy.
Oh, yeah.
That is your whole job, is you're professionally nosy. You want the professional chisme. That's what you want. Do that.
It's a good way of putting it.
It is. Be nosy. That's your job. Your whole job is to get nosy. If you see nothing sticks out, you don't smell anything or see anything,
move on.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
Hit them their citation, their warning. Have a nice day. Be careful back on the highway. Drive safe. And call it a day. Be done with it. You could be out of there in 3 minutes. But if you don't look around the car and you miss the gun sitting between the seats or the meth in the center console, because I don't know if anyone else here deals in meth like we do, they leave it right there in visible plain view. And I've never found Crown Royal in a Crown Royal bag in 10 years of doing this job. J-Man, have you ever found Crown Royal in a Crown Royal bag?
No.
Oh, I was hoping one person would say yes.
No.
So I'm almost tempted to make that like PC and see if I can actually get a court case at the Supreme Court where they make that probable cause stick. It was a Crown Royal bag, and it wasn't shaped like Crown Royal. And lo and behold, it's always weed. It's always weed, too. I've never found anything else in a Crown Royal bag. I've always found weed in the Crown Royal bag. I've never found meth, coke, or heroin. It's always weed.
Yeah, there's, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you really sit there and think about it, you're right.
Yeah. They give themselves away. They think they're being original. Or the cigarillo wrappers. Nobody buys those because they like the taste of cigarillos.
Yeah, no.
They buy them to make blunts out of them.
I'm an avid cigar smoker, and I don't even think I'll get that desperate.
No, I'll smoke a real cigar. I'll go to a cigar store and actually buy a real cigar.
I'm not going to get a Swisher Sweet.
Yeah, we all know what that's for.
I'm not going to get a Swisher Sweet because I really want a cigar. No,
when you look on the floorboard and you see nothing but shake from the Swisher Sweet because they pounded out the tobacco, you already know what's in that car.
Or what's commonly referred to as blunt guts.
Blunt guts, yeah. I just call it shake, and they all know what I'm talking about. You see the empty wrappers all over the car. You're like, out. You guys could try to be a little more subtle.
I've heard some funny nicknames. Black and Mild called Green and Milds. Get it?
No, yeah, I get it. I never heard of that. Green and Miles. Okay, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna see that word. Hey, what are those Green and Miles for? I'm gonna get one of two responses. They're gonna look at me and laugh, or they're gonna look at me and go, "What are you talking about?"
I know, right?
Then I'll know which one I'm talking to. I know I'm talking to the hip one.
the hip one, yeah. Green and Milds, folks. Green and Milds.
So, folks, we hope you enjoyed today's show. Maybe learned something, got a few laughs. That's always the goal. We want you to laugh. We want you to enjoy this. We want you to think it's funny. We also want you to learn something, though. You know, you can learn through humor, and that is sometimes the best teacher. Pain and humor, the two best teachers there are, especially when it's at your expense. Mm-hmm. You hurt yourself because to something as mundane as hitting it with a hammer.
Yep.
So, folks, as always, please have a safe week. Please be careful out there. Fellow officers, have fun. Find the funny. And we will catch you next week, guys. J-Man, anything to add?
Clean up your blunt guts.
That's right, guys. Clean up your blunt guts. It'll give us less work and less reason to mess with you. All right, everybody. From South Texas, y'all have a good week. We're out.
Stay safe.
Hey, if you like the show, check us out on Twitter or Instagram. Both are at T-Bone and J-Man. Like, follow, subscribe, send it out to your friends, send it out to your family. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach us there, and we'll give you a shout-out on the show.